Consider the formula V equals 4/3 pi r cubed, which describes the relationship between the volume and the radius of a sphere. For part A, we want to determine the volume of a sphere with a radius of 3 and the volume of a sphere with a radius of 2.5 centimeters. On the CAS calculator, we're going to go into the main menu. Before we go too far, just check that you've got the right settings down the bottom of the calculator. In particular, you want to be on standard generally when you're dealing with formulas, particularly if pi is involved. What we want to do next is hit the keyboard button to bring up the hard keypad, and we want to enter the formula that we've been given. So using variables and caps lock, we can get our capital V for volume, and that's going to equal, so we use the equal symbol on the hard keypad, 4 divided by 3, and then I'm going to put all the multiplication up on the top line. So 4 times pi times, and again we use the variables r and lowercase, and we used the power of 3, and that's going to be our formula that we're going to use. So for part A, it wants us to find the volume when the radius is 3. So what we're going to do is go to Math 3 and use this symbol in blue, and that's going to allow us to substitute r equals in. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our variables and put r equals, and we can put 3 in. So when we do that, we can see that the volume is equal to 36 pi. Therefore, using our answer from the CAS calculator, we have that the volume is going to equal 36 pi centimeters cubed for a radius of 3 centimeters. Now we can simply highlight that formula and drag it down, and we're just going to change the value of r that we put in. So instead of 3 for part B, we need 0.5, and if we hit execute, we get the volume when the radius is 0.5 centimeters is pi on 6. Therefore, for part 2, the volume is going to equal pi divided by 6 centimeters cubed for a sphere with a radius of 2.5 centimeters. For part B, we're going to use the CAS calculator to transpose the formula to make r the subject. In order to transpose to make r the subject, we're going to drag down the formula that we have rather than retyping it out. And now what we want to do is highlight this and go interactive, equation inequality, and press solve. And to transpose it to get r to the subject, we're just going to solve for the variable r. So in variable, we're going to use the variable keyboard and press r, and then press OK. And we can see that it tells us that r is equal to this fraction now. So if we have a look at what the calculator gives us for r, we can do some slight adjustments to that. So we can say that r is equal to 3v divided by pi, all divided by 4 to the power of a third. So that's the same as what the calculator gave us. We've just made it look slightly differently using index laws. And then 3v divided by pi divided by 4 is actually equal to 3v divided by 4 pi. And to the power of a third is the same as taking the cube root of all of that. So that's what we can write r as by hand with the assistance of the CAS calculator. Finally, for part C, we want to determine the radius of a sphere with a volume of 32 pi divided by 81 centimeters cubed. So to find the radius when we're given the volume, we can drag this formula down that we just found. And in Math 3, we can use that straight up and down line, which is a given that symbol. And this time we can go variables, capital V, and we know that that is equal to, so we use the equal symbol on the hard keyboard, and we know that it is going to be 32 times pi divided by 81. So if we hit execute, we find that the radius is equal to 2 divided by 3 centimeters. Therefore, using the result we have on our CAS calculator, we can say that the radius is equal to 2 divided by 3 centimeters when the volume is 32 pi divided by 81 centimeters cubed.